Most cars don't die suddenly. They're slowly worn out day by day by habits people have they don't even realise. After 15 years in the used car trade, I've seen cars reach huge mileage milestones, and others barely make it halfway. And the difference is never just luck, it's always how they're owned and maintained. So today I want to share 7 ways to make your car last forever, or at least a lot longer than most. Hello and welcome back to more High Peak. Well, in today's video I want to share with you 7 tricks that will make your car last longer. One of the biggest myths about cars is that longevity is all about brand, price or luck, but it isn't. Over the years I've bought and sold literally thousands of cars and I've noticed some patterns. The cars that last the longest aren't always the newest, the fastest or the most expensive, but they're always cars that were looked after in a very specific way. And the good news is most of this is completely within your control. Right, rule number 1. Servicing the car for real life, not just listening to what the brochure says. Long service intervals might make it look cheaper to run on paper, but in the real world it will cost you in the long run. For example, I know BMW and Porsche have a 2-year or 20,000 mile service interval. I just wouldn't listen to that. What you want to do is service it every year at the latest, or every 10,000 miles at the latest. Without wishing to sound like a conspiracy theorist, it's almost like the manufacturers do this on purpose so that the car won't last and you have to replace it. You need to be very wary of what you're using your car for. So if you're doing lots of short trips, you need to service them more frequently. If you're doing lots of motorway miles, then a 10,000 mile service interval might be fine. But if you're driving only around town, then I'd change the oil every 5,000 or 6,000 miles instead. I've noticed that cars that last the longest are usually owned by people who understand how they're being driven and how to service them properly. Personally, I wouldn't listen to manufacturers. I'd listen to mechanics instead who work on these on a daily basis. Rule number 2, warming up your engine properly. Now this is a really important one. You see, cold starts are where most engine wear happens. The oil needs time to circulate and the metal needs time to literally warm up. Most people who get huge mileage out of their cars don't thrash them when they're cold. They let them warm up nice and gradually. What I'd recommend you do is start the car and let it get to temperature naturally and gradually, rather than thrashing it when it's cold. It's a tricky balance because you also don't want to baby these cars either. They need to be driven. You know, for example, with the this is true of lots of cars, but take for example the W12 Bentley engine. It's a twin turbo and the second turbo only kicks in at something like 3,000 RPM. Now a lot of those cars are owned by people in the 60s and 70s who don't drive them hard. And often you can find that the second turbo is just seized because people just don't redline them. So I'm not saying redline every car, but what I'm saying is warm your engine up properly and then don't be scared to drive it. Rule number 3, changing the fluids that most people forget about. Now I always preach this. I've been preaching this since I started this channel 7 or 8 years ago. Most people just think because they've changed the engine oil, that's it. But there's a lot more to maintaining a car than just changing the engine oil. On most manufacturers' service schedules, these things won't even appear. I mean, most manufacturers will tell you that the gearbox is sealed for life, but you can take that with a pinch of salt. You need to service them. That's why I always recommend finding a good specialist for your brand, and then they'll look after the car properly. They'll change the diff fluid, they'll change the gearbox fluid, they'll change the coolant. These things need to be done. The longest lasting cars almost always have these fluids changed, even when nobody forced the owner to do it. It's unglamorous, but it works. So make sure you service your engine every 5,000 to 10,000 miles, but don't forget the coolant, the gearbox, the diff, the transfer box, all that sort of stuff. It does need to be done. Before we get on to the next rule, I need to say a massive thank you to today's video sponsor, Car Vertical. Now, if you're in the market for a used car or motorbike, it's really important that you do a thorough vehicle history check before you hand over any money. And with Car Vertical, that couldn't be easier. All you need to do is go to carvertical.com, and don't worry, I'll leave the link below in the video description, and simply type in the reg or the VIN. And this isn't just a UK thing, it works in 35 different countries. So after a few moments, you'll get a thorough detailed report back, which will tell you whether the car's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. In addition to that, it'll show you the ownership changes, the spec, the average market value, the MOT history, and a whole lot more. So it's really important that you do one of these checks. It doesn't take long and it isn't expensive, and it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK all one word, HIGHPEAK, and you'll save yourself 20% off each and every check you do. Right, on to the next rule. Rule number 4, fixing small problems before they become big problems. There's always a build-up, be it a rattle, a squeak, a smell, a vibration. There are always warning signs. The owners whose cars last forever are always the ones who pay attention. They're not the kinds of owners who just wait for a warning light or wait for a breakdown. They investigate the noise or the rattle or vibration and then act accordingly. We all know that prevention is better than the cure, but that's especially true with used cars. That's why, I know this sounds a bit geeky, but occasionally go for a drive without the music on. That way you'll hear any rattles or squeaks or noises. It just keeps you informed and aware. It's also why you should probably clean your own car at least once a week. That way you can keep an eye on the condition of it. You'll know your car like the back of your hand. You'll be able to see if there's a loose piece of trim or a blown bulb or, a broken lens or anything like that. Rule number 5, and I know this one might be tricky to do, but you should try and avoid short trips wherever possible. Short journeys are just harder on cars. The engines don't warm up properly, there's just extra wear. You'll find that moisture builds up internally and the emission system never get a chance to do the job properly. Cars that last tend to see regular longer runs, even if it's just an occasional motorway drive. It just clears everything out and massively reduces long-term wear. Rule number 6, you must respect the car's cooling system. Now this almost goes without saying, but you should check your levels at least once a week. Most importantly though, you need to check your coolant. If there's one thing that kills engines quickly, it's overheating. Cooling systems age quietly. Hoses, thermostats, pumps, expansion tanks, they can have leaks that you're just not aware of. Cars that last the longest are always owned by people who never ignore small coolant losses, warning messages, temperature fluctuations, all that sort of stuff. So you need to be on the ball with this. Once an engine overheats, it's never quite the same again. You could blow your head gasket or warp the head, or worse. Rule number 7 then, and the final point in today's video, is driving smoothly. Not slowly, but smoothly. You see, longevity isn't about crawling everywhere at 10 miles an hour like somebody's grandma, but it's about driving smoothly and respecting the car. You need to have a certain level of mechanical sympathy. You need smooth inputs. So, gentle braking, gentle acceleration. Don't completely destroy it, because obviously if you do, it'll just destroy your car. But at the same time, don't be too gentle on it. You just need to be more sympathetic. It really is about balance, because I've found that the cars that last are driven with intention, not aggression. If you drive a car smoothly, it'll just reduce wear on the engine, the gearbox, the mounts, the suspension, everything. And all that mounts up over time. Whenever I've had cars that have done a ridiculous amount of miles, they've all got one thing in common. They've all been used, but never abused. This might all sound a little bit boring, but a car is a huge investment. So by doing this, you're essentially protecting that investment. By following these simple rules, you'll have a car that will last you a lot longer, cause you a lot less stress, financial heartbreak, and potential breakdowns. There's nothing better than a car that you can truly depend on, so I'm hoping those 7 rules will help you achieve that. Well, I think that's about it, guys and girls, so thank you once again for watching. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in getting into the used car business, I've created an online course with nearly 100 videos which explain every single step of the process. It's free for the first 30 days and only £27 a month thereafter. I'll leave the link below in the video description. But yeah, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, I'll see you next time. See ya.